Different levels, I cannot relate. You never win if you playing it safe. It's all a game until you get played.
Welcome back to the channel, y'all. I never thought that I would ever see a contentious corporate meeting play out in real time for the world to see. But that's exactly what happened on the Breakfast Club this morning. And I'm pretty sure y'all have seen the video about the issue between Lauren LaRosa being on the Breakfast Club and Jess Hilarious and her position on the Breakfast Club. And since, none of us are at the Breakfast Club, none of us work there, we don't know the ins and outs, I'm going to look at this from two sides tonight. And so just walk with me down this path real quick, because I think, there's blame on both sides with this. And here is the issue with this. Honestly, the communication at the Breakfast Club seemed like it is null and void. If Lauren is supposed to be a producer on the show, then when Jess came back, she shouldn't have been on the show. Now, what's crazy about this situation is Lauren is very, very good. And that's the problem. And because the fans like her, she's on the show. And she's a little bit more polished than Jess is. And I think the consensus around people who watch the Breakfast Club is that they just feel like Lauren is a better option. Here's the problem with what Jess did. She took it to social media. That's the only part that I have an issue with on her side, really. It's not so much the fact that what she's saying is not valid, because it is. Because if Lauren is going to be on the show and she don't know why she's on the show, and I'm on the show as a host, and here we got a fourth person on here now that's always on the show, I would want to know what is going on too, because it does seem like she's there as the replacement. But I also think that in this regard, Jess should have kept off of social media. If you are on the show equally with Charlamagne and Envy, and y'all are hosts, and they brought you on as a third one to sit there, that means that you are a peer of theirs, then that conversation between y'all should have happened behind closed doors, y'all three or something. Like what's going on? Let me know what's really the deal. Don't air it out on social media, because now you brought an element into it that ain't always good. Because you get people like myself who react to stuff. And it's not a real good professional look. We got to conduct business. We got to conduct business. And that sometimes lack where we're at. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we don't have the business right to make it run effectively. Communication breakdowns. This is exactly what this is. This is the exact communication breakdown. While Jess was on maternity leave, the skinny she had to be in the know to know what's going on in the show. You can't have her out in the dark, especially when she picked Lauren to be on the show. So when she comes back on the show, she like, WTF? What's going on here? But to the fans, people who listen to the Breakfast Club, I listen to them every morning. I like Lauren on the show. She got great chemistry with Charlamagne and Envy. But now it does seem like it's some button on the heads up there, and that ain't good for business. Cooler heads got to prevail at some point. And I get it. Like, there's no fault for Lauren. I mean, she's doing what she's supposed to be doing. She got an opportunity and she took full advantage of it. And even if she was auditioning for a slot on the Breakfast Club, her performance on the Breakfast Club might prepare her to something else, another job somewhere else. You never know. It might be another radio syndicate station that's looking for a host, and they hearing her on the Breakfast Club, and now with all this going on, come on now, you can't tell me that somebody ain't gonna some other producer for another show, another network, listening to this and be like, you know what, that's a talent right there. Let me go snatch that from the Breakfast Club. Girl, you don't have to deal with this. How much they paying you? We are in a capitalistic society. It's dog eat dog. It's about opportunity, but it's not about stepping on people's toes. And that's where I think Jess is going with this. She feel like it's some shady stuff going on here. And rather than people be truthful, she getting gaslit. And that ain't good for business either. Don't be phony. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the part where it gets tricky at. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, y'all supposed to be my homies. But also, social media gonna social media. And sometimes you just gotta look at that stuff and just let it go. Just gotta let it go. Because you get so consumed with it that it'll really mess with your mental state. But this is also a cautionary tale about, seizing the opportunity, right? We can never feel and get comfortable working for somebody else. That your job can't be taken by somebody. You working for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's yours, then you set the rules. But when you working for somebody, corporate America cutthroat. And it's sad to be like that, because sometimes it be your own that do it to you. But that's why you always gotta stay ready. That's the saying, right? If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. You gotta be prepared. You gotta work on you gotta hone your craft. If this is what you want to do for a living and make a career out of this, then you got to hone in. And that's where Jess should take this as motivation for herself. Because if not, crashing out on social media, you're going to be out the door. There's always contract negotiations. So you might have negotiated for a couple of years, but that contract come up and, going on social media, crashing out, that ain't good for business. And whoever's cutting them checks, they looking at ad revenue. They looking at viewership, because that stuff matters to them, because they rely on these ad dollars. They rely on these numbers, these metrics. And if the fans, the people who are doing focus groups and fans who are being able to voice their opinions and talk about the show, and if they're saying, hey, we like Lauren gonna be on that show. If the fans like Lauren, she gonna be on the show. That's because the data and the metrics drive viewership, and viewership drives ad revenue, and ad revenue keeps the lights on. This is radio. This is media. You depend on ad revenue. You depend on that stuff. You depend on advertising dollars. People are pouring into you because they feel like your platform can give them a competitive edge and getting their product out. They're not paying you simply to have a radio show. No, they're paying you because you can keep people listening and listen to these ads, and maybe they might purchase something. You see what I'm saying? If people ain't listening, you ain't gonna be on the air. They not investing in nothing that is not giving them an added return on investment. You can best believe that. So whatever metrics they're using, whatever data set they're using, whatever it is that they're using right now to gauge how the Breakfast Club is going, is telling them that having Lauren LaRosa on there along with Charlamagne and Envy is a better combination than them with Jess Hilarious. And they should just let her know that. It's not a knock. Ain't nobody hating. It's just what the numbers say. And corporate America deals in data. You know, men lie, women lie, but the data doesn't. Them stats matter. Trust me. That's why if you work in corporate America, you got KPIs. They're going to be testing these metrics to see how effective you are. Y'all don't see how these people getting laid off from all these companies around America right now? Everybody laying off, businesses closing. If the stuff ain't selling, you going out of business. Forever 21, bankrupt, closing all their stores. All these tech companies laying off people. It is always people over. It is always profit over people. We live in capitalism. It is profits over people. And there are always going to be measurements and testing out the field, and they're trying to get in new markets. So when they do these tests and they do these field tests and they sending these people out to go get people in the community to do these focus groups, they're collecting this data and they're turning around and determining, okay, this is what the people like to hear. This tested well. That's why they pilot shows. It just so happened in this situation, the person who testing well is the person that you put on. And that's the hard part about it. You put the homie on and she came in and stepped. And that's no knock to her. I mean, she just attacked the day. You know what I'm saying? That's what she did. She seized the day. You know, that's Carp DM, right? Seize the day. That's what she did. Hey, when opportunity come knock, if you prepare, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, right? It's the same thing with sports. You know, they always looking to trade you, get rid of you. These players know that. They know that there's some rookie coming out of college that might be better than them. And when they come there, they about to show out. So you better be on your A game or you're going to be out the door. We're not going to pay you $100 million when they got a rookie wide receiver for 5 years that they can pay $20 million. And we got him in the fifth round. And he can do just as the same amount that you can do with less mileage and for a fraction of the cost. I told you, it's profits over people. So in this situation, we have Jess, who is frustrated, and rightfully so, because she ain't being told what's really going on, which is completely foul. And on the same side, we have Lauren, who is on there, and she's like, hey, I'm just doing what I'm told to do. But you also can see that she is a talent, and they recognize that. So they want to hone in on it, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. But you also have the part where ain't no communication with Jess on the direction of the show, which is completely out of line. And then you got Jess crashing out online, listening to social media, getting into it with Corey Holcomb. It's a bad situation. And it's a cautionary tale in the life of corporate America. You know, you can't never think that you can't be replaced. Not when you're working for somebody else. If they can find better for cheaper, they'll do it every single time. My father-in-law, he told me once, he said, sometimes in corporations, you look for 5 people, you want to work them like they 7, but you're gonna pay them like they 3 people. That's capitalism. I'm gonna take 5 people, I'm gonna work you like you 7 people, and I'm gonna pay you like you 3 people. And I'm gonna duplicate that over and over again because I'm always gonna get more for less. That's the object of capitalism. So hopefully they get this together. I don't know. I think it might be over for Jess at Breakfast Club because I just don't see how this works now. You know what I'm saying? It's too much tension in the room, and unless Lauren is completely gone, that's the only way this works. The way it's constructed with Jess being on the show, because this ain't gonna work with Lauren being on there. This cannot work with Lauren and Jess being on there at the same time. This is not gonna work. We saw it this morning on the Breakfast Club. It was a complete crap show. It was probably one of the worst episodes I've seen because we shouldn't be privy to stuff that should be talked about behind closed doors. But I also, on the flip side, I think it was kind of good because now everybody gets to see how things operate, and y'all might be dealing with something like this too. So, but the social media part, Jess, come on, you can't do that, sis. You can't do that. You can't do that. Don't do that. Don't crash out online, sis. Don't. If I don't know Jess Hilarious, and if I knew her, I would advise her, sis, don't do this to yourself. Don't do this to yourself. I get you. I totally understand. But there's a right way to do this. There's a right way to do this. And there's a legal aspect that you might be able to lock into. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to stop something that you could, come back and, you know what I'm saying? But you online doing some things that can really screw some stuff up. Okay? So if anybody who see this, if you see this video and you know her, that's just the advice. Hey, there's a legal aspect that you might be able to unlock should some other things take place. Don't mess that up by being online, self-sabotaging and damaging your own potential cases. Just cautionary. You're on the right track though. You should know exactly what's going on. And if she is on the show permanently and that's the route they're going, they should tell you that. That you are more than right to know that, because nobody should be at work walking on eggshells or not privy to what's going on. But clearly Lauren tested well in some metric. That's the only reason why she's on the show. And she's a good talent, and they want to utilize her like any capitalistic society person is. Any corporation that is using their money to get funded by somebody else, and they're using their money and they're looking at these things, this is what's gonna happen. It's a survival of the fittest. We just gotta be ready. Gotta be on your A game. Get back in the lab. Hone your skill. Sharpen your tool. You know what I'm saying? Be the best that you can be. So you don't leave no doubt. You know what I'm saying? So there is no doubt because you ain't leaving none. All right? So y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about it. Like I said, this is a bad situation. I don't know how this works. What y'all think? Y'all think Lauren and Jess gonna be able to work this out and they'll all be on the show? Or do y'all think that Lauren just needs to go back to being behind the camera, doing her production stuff, being the producer? Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. Until next time, Coach Nation, let's keep it coaching.